I mean, think about it. We were talking about Bruno Mars earlier.
Yes.
And I mean, he's a great artist and a great performer, and that's a pop star. Travis are a very different type of band.
Oi, gente, tudo bem? Sejam muito bem-vindos a mais um Universo Alpha. Hoje a gente tá aqui com o Fran e o Andy da Banda Travis. Hi, guys!
Hey!
Thank you so much for being here with us.
We're really happy to be here.
Oh. I wanted to start by asking you about your new project. It's the most recent one, LA Times, the album. You said that it's one of the most personal projects that you ever did. What inspired you to get this personal, to talk about your personal experiences?
I think a lot of stuff happens. I call it emotional weather. And sometimes it's sunny and sometimes it rains and sometimes it's like it lasts. The sun can last for a long time. You have a great summer, or you have a long, or it rains during the summer or whatever. But emotionally, it's the same thing. And I think for me, the period between the last album, 10 songs, and this was a very emotional roller coaster time, and it just comes out in the songs. The songs are always honest. It's always the truth. It's always what's going on that comes out. But this is just a lot of stuff happens, and so the songs have they vibrate differently. They've got more intensity to them. I wouldn't say it's the most honest. I think every album I do is honest. But I just think it has a more intenseness to it.
And you guys are talking about a city that has been very important for you, LA. I
live there.
Yes.
And LA is a very interesting city, going through a very interesting time in its history right now. It's like they say it's like a coal miner's canary for the rest of the world. You have the environmental challenges there with the flooding and the fires, global warming. You have political turbulence. You have racism that I've never. In Britain, we have racism. Racism is international, but over there, it's a different kind of. It's like on steroids, and I have never experienced it before. But you see it. I mean, you even see it on the street. Where in Skid Row, most of the people in Skid Row are African Americans, and very few white faces you see in these, and so it's like for me as an outsider, I'm soaking it all in, and it comes out. It comes out in a couple of the songs,
And talking about the production part, you are reunited with Tony Hoffers.
It's the first time we've worked with him. Yeah, we'd never worked with him before.
Never worked with him. How was the experience?
It was fantastic. I mean, I think we've been going so long now that to have someone new come in and sort of take the helm was really refreshing for us. And he had a very definite idea of how it would sound, and he encouraged us to play together. I think what's good about us and what's good about bands is when you play together, records don't sound like other records now, because the way records are made is so boring. It's like a layer and it's got to be perfect and layer. When you play together, push and pull, and it's human, and I think that the music deserves that, a human touch.
You were when you were recording, you were playing together.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, we'd mostly lay down the tracks together because that's the way we like to play. It's human.
Because some artists they may record the instruments
separately.
Yeah. There's still an element of that. Every band does that, but but we try and capture the song as much as possible together. And Tony was just great at capturing that, and then his ideas on top. It was just a really interesting, fantastic person to work with, and he had the sort of really good ideas about how it should sound.
And he contributed in what way specifically to the album?
Well, if you're performing something, he's very like, no, don't do that. Try again. You try again. No. Take that note out or take that note out. Try again. No. Until he's like, okay, that's good. And he directs. He's like a director. Like that's in music. A producer it's funny in the film industry. A producer is the person who organizes it and gives the money, and in the music business, the producer is like the director, right? He's the guy who goes action, cut. That wasn't so good. Let's try again. And so he's not really a producer. He's a director, and that's the best. Music producers are like the best directors, like Spielberg or Scorsese or whatever. Yeah.
And the collaboration, you guys thought of him for this album in particular. Why?
Yeah, because we wanted to work with him a long time ago, but we just couldn't triangulate. We couldn't. Our diaries didn't match up, and it takes a long time because every 4 years a band does an album, so you only have this is our 10th album. So on our fifth or sixth album, we wanted to work with him, but we couldn't. Oh, it was our fourth album? No, her fifth album, we wanted to work with him, but we couldn't. So then it just, now in this one, it was like, our diaries matched up and it was good.
And talking about the album cover as well, you worked with the photographer, Stefan Ruiz.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful cover for the album.
Oh, yeah.
How was that? How was the backstage of taking the photo, of creating that concept for the album, for the image?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to make the record be relevant, the image to be relevant to the title of the album. So I went on Google Maps. And I flew around Los Angeles on Google Maps, trying to find I was thinking down by the Pacific Ocean or palm trees. What is Los Angeles? What does this album sound like? And then I just found this one little location on Google Maps. On the look around, you go on the street and you can sort of see, and I see the city. And we called up Stefan, who shot the Invisible Band, The Boy With No Name, and the man who's in the morning, the shoot. The Invisible Band is in the afternoon. The Boy With No Name was at sunset, and so we only have one other time, which was at night time. So I said, Stefan, come. I found a location, and he came over from New York City, and we went out. We stood and he went click. We looked and it was it. It was like the first picture.
Really? Yeah. It was that easy?
Because he goes click and we walk up and he shows the picture on the thing and I took a picture of it. And that was the one we used.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was such an easy process, right?
Yeah. And then we stayed out for another 4 hours. But the best one was the first one.
And you guys had a vision that you wanted that kind of just being a little bit distant from the camera.
That's the way in all the shoots we've done with Stefan. We're quite a distance away. I mean, it varies across them, but yeah, it was. And it's about we're not that important. It's the music that's important. It's the landscape that's important around us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had no idea that you thought of that the music is the important, not necessarily the figure.
I mean, think about it. We were talking about Bruno Mars earlier.
Yes.
And I mean, he's a great artist and a great performer, and that's the pop star. Travis are a very different type of band. Most bands, the song is the pop star. Most bands, I feel, unless it's Madonna or Bruno or Michael Jackson or one of those superstar people, the songs are the pop stars. The songs are the important things because the songs are what you and I and you use in our lives to bookmark our lives. When you have your first Holy Communion or you get married or your grandpapa dies and then some song comes on the radio at the same time. Then 20 years later, you hear that song and it does something to you. And so there's no band there. That's your song. Yeah. And the song is the most important. So for us, we're not interested in being pop stars, but we want our songs to be the pop stars. So that we put ourselves small, on the cover.
And talking about the songs, one of them is Gaslight. And you are talking about that time frame specifically. And I think that Gaslight, when you reference the word, especially that was elected the word of the year in 2022.
It's true.
It kind of, in a way, it's putting a time frame actually on the song as well, because we're talking about a time period, about something that's happening socially on the social media as well. Do you guys thought of that when you were thinking about the music?
No, it's a song to someone. It's a specific song to one person. So that's it. I mean, they don't, like, no one knows who it is apart from me and us and them. I don't even know if they know, but I think they know. They should know, because it's been played all over the radio. It's the best. I think a song is one of the best ways you can. Yeah, it's the best revenge.
And it's also, but it's nice when a word like say gaslight comes along, because sometimes before that people don't realise it's happening to them. Until you create a word for something, people won't sort of concentrate. And I always remember when we went to art school, when someone was teaching me how to draw a face, he said there's a reason kids draw eyes, nose and mouth when you ask them to draw a face. It's they have a word for it. If they had a word for this bit, they draw it. If they had, you recognise what's there. So when that word came along, it gave people a lot of, oh yeah, this is happening to me. This has been happening to me a long time, and it gives them the power to use that word. You know,
it happens to everyone. It happens every day to everyone.
No, it doesn't.
That's, you know what I'm saying, right? There's a really good joke. You know that you say, did you hear the joke about gaslighting? And the person says no, and you say, yeah, you did. Which is kind of, we live in a time of it, and but again, it's been happening forever. And brothers do it to sisters do it to brothers, parents do it to children, and vice versa. Politicians do it to the electorate. Everyone seems to do it, and it's kind of feels like there's more of it than usual, but I don't know if there is. I think it's just more that we are seeing more of it.
The word shines a light on it also.
Like you say.
And when we are talking about a personal experience, other people can relate to it in a certain way, right?
But this is like, this is, you know, Joni Mitchell,
yes.
So Joni was, that was the first time I realised that you could, the things that you wrote in your diary, you could then put them into songs. Your own experience, because that's, you know, that's real. And I don't think my experience of life is this individual thing that no one else can relate to. Most people, it's like we all go to the bathroom every day. We all sometimes have a bad night's sleep. We all sometimes wake up feeling great or terrible. We sometimes get depressed or we're happy. This is the human condition. So if you can write about your condition, I'm sure that people maybe can relate to it in the same way. It's like when you write a song, you're trying to therapize yourself, like help yourself get through it, so then it helps someone else get through it.
Yes.
That's how I get when I hear a good song. I'm like, oh my god, it's like you talk about the word to describe this part of your face. When you hear a good song, it's just like a thing that describes what you're feeling, you know, because feelings are really hard to describe.
Yes.
You know, we've got these adjectives for it, like amazing, happy, sad, but there's other very subtle feelings that are between those feelings that songs can really express, and that's why music is so important to humans.
Well, it helps you process it. It makes you feel less alone in feeling it. You know, I think sometimes when we're at the lowest, we feel like it's only us, and then someone comes on and sings about it. You're like, okay, this isn't just me.
Yeah.
You know?
One thing I will say, we're here to play a show, and our songs, Travis, are every song goes up, down, here, there. It's not just this one thing. A lot of bands do this one thing. I think we're quite a human band because of this type of songs that we put out. So that's why I think
it's good.
During the gig, it's quite an experience, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
There's real up and down points, you know, like sort of emotions. You know, it's great because I think that's the way you wouldn't wake up and be just happy all day long. You know, you wake up, sometimes you're happy, see some friends, then you're reminded of something, and then by lunchtime you're in tears. And I think that's like a Travis. You know, you can be up and down.
Yeah, sometimes you get annoyed with a little thing, with something. Yes, and it's such a universal experience.
Yeah, well, our shows are kind of odd, in a good way.
Human.
And I think it's good that we have different kind of experiences when we talk about music artists, because it's not something that is just an industry that's just copy paste. It has to be something individual, something different, something that touches people. And if I hear a music, it may touch me in a way. If a friend of mine listens, it's going to interpret it in another way, think of another emotion maybe. And I wanted to ask you guys about another song on the album, that's Raise the Bar. That song came pretty easy, the composing part, right?
Yeah. It was I found some cool chords, and I wrote the first line came out. It's cold outside, and this is it's easy sometimes to write songs because it's like doing a crossword or a puzzle. So you go, it's cold outside. Then you say, right, well, for the next line, I'm going to come inside. So it's warm in here. It's cold outside, it's warm in here. So suddenly you're in a place. I'm inside. So I immediately thought of this bar. It was called in New York. It was called Black and White. And this is where I would always go to this bar. It's a great bar. And Johnny's the owner. Jack was his friend. So Johnny and Jack are sitting in the bar, and then it just writes itself, and it takes 10 minutes, and you're done.
And it talks about a bar that was significant for the band.
Oh, us to every band. The Strokes. The Strokes management office was above it. WizKid was on the floor above, so the Strokes would always go in there, and we had some brilliant nights.
What I love about it is it's almost like a folk song in a traditional sense. It's about something that's not there anymore, so we won't forget it. It's kind of like, and that's what folk songs did. They would sort of remember people or places or things that had happened, and they were there to serve a purpose as well as just be a nice song. And that, I feel for that. That's what that does.
And just to finish our interview, I wanted to ask you, it's been almost 30 years since the band started?
Yeah. Oh, it's been longer. It's 34 years.
Oh my God.
Is it 34 years?
Well, let's think.
We got 91.
Yeah.
33 years.
33 years. Yeah.
And what is the secret to such longevity, to a music project, to a band, to work together?
I believe that it's a balance of personalities. If you were to take a scale and drop one member and another member, it would just balance perfectly. Some bands last for 1 week, and they last for 1 week because something comes along that destroys the band. I don't know. It could be an argument. It could be there's something stupid. Some bands last for 2 months. Some bands last for 2 years. Our connections with one another, just by chance, just by luck, are strong enough that nothing has destroyed it yet. Nothing has come along to knock us over, so we're still together.
I think it's today we'll always liken it to something. Maybe today it's like, I think it's like mountain climbing. You'll leave base camp, you all tie yourself together, and then you climb up, and if somebody's falling behind, you all pull them up, and then you get to base camp and you all go off and you just go into your tents, and then you try again. And I think we when we play together, we look out for each other. When we don't, we look out and we give each other space. And I think it's just, you learn those things over time.
And just to finish, what are your plans for 2025?
Touring, and need some downtime to think of maybe new songs and just live. All of us have got kids who are now just left school, and now it's a new chapter for us as parents. I came back from just recently from tour, and my son, I don't have to go and take him to school anymore. I don't have to. He's off, So it's a new. I'm like, whoa. Now I've got to recalibrate my life.
Find some new responsibilities.
Yeah. So there'll be a lot of that. We're a very our band, and in most bands, let's be honest, we're very lucky to be in a band and be artists and do this job. And wow, as you are to do this job, right? We're lucky. So, but we're really just people, and so when we come off the road, we're like,
I want to rest.
Yeah, I'll have a rest, and I've got all these metaphors and analogies. I call it sometimes like flushing a toilet. You pull the thing and it goes, and it empties. the bucket empties, and then you need to fill the cistern up again with water before you can flush it again. So I'll be letting it fill up with water, whatever, and then you flush it, and then you go and do another album, or whatever. Become a professional football player like you.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Thank you.
A goalie?
No.
Maybe. We don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for the talk. It's
Oh,
a
you're welcome.
pleasure having you
Thank
here.
you.